welcome back once again. Today we want to delve into linear inequality. In my previous videos, you look at linear equations, and so we want to look at inequalities. And these are past questions of the GRE exams and what they were looking out for there. And we want to solve these 4 questions that are picked out. Just a practical example so that you're much conversant with this particular topic. Okay, so the first question demands that we find the value of x, and all of them says we find the value of x. All right, so looking at them, but they are from simple to complex, so stay until the end. That will deal with this one at the end of the day. So the first question says that find the value of x on 5x minus 4 less than 16. Okay, now we are solving for x the same way we dealt with the linear equation. The same way we are going to deal with the linear inequality. Just a little difference, because this is using the sign inequality sign, which is the less than or equal to or the greater than sign, but the equations are always equal sign. So we have to pay attention to this particular sign. Okay, so here, because I'm looking for 5x, I leave 5x here, then I carry whatever is here across the equal sign. So we have negative 4 coming over here, becomes positive 4. So I have 5x is less than 16 plus 4, that gives you 20. I'm looking for x, so therefore I divide through by 5. So I have 5x less than 20 divided by 5. So my x is less than 4. Now you can illustrate this on the number line if they have asked us to do that. So you can draw your number line. I have from here at 0, so I can put a 0 here. 2, 4, 6. Let me make them big so you can see them clearly. So 4 is here. I just make a projection small on it, and look at where the sign is pointing towards. The sign is pointing towards this side. So therefore, I also draw and put the arrow there. Then I write x less than 4. Now let me explain some things here. If we were dividing through by negative or multiplying through by negative, when you multiply through by negative or you divide through by negative, this sign here will change. So if it is less than, it will change to greater than. If it is greater than, it will change to less than. That is when we are multiplying by negative or we are dividing by negative sign. In the number line, if this sign was less than or equal to, that is, if it was like this, then we will shade the dot here. We would have shaded it like this. But once it's not this one, we will have to leave it as an empty circle like this. So this is what this is requiring. Let's look at the second one. It says that's number 2. Minus 2x minus 7 less than or greater than or equal to 3. We solve for x, so you have to leave it here and pick the negative 7 across the equal sign to become positive 7 once crossing this sign. So I have minus 2x is greater than or equal to 10. I'm looking for x, so therefore I divide through by negative 2. So I have negative 2 dividing that, which is greater than or equal to 10 dividing by negative 2. So my x is negative 2 is going to cancel this. Now I just mentioned that when we are dividing by a negative sign, then this sign will change. This one, we're not dividing by a negative sign, so the sign still maintains. But because I'm dividing by a negative sign, then this sign will change so less than or equal to. Then we have 10 divided 2 will give me 5, and then remember there's a negative sign there that is causing the sign to change. And now you can illustrate this on the number line as well. So I can get the number line here. Hope you can see. So I have my 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember this side is the negatives. 1, 2. Now the sign is negative 5, so we look for negative 5, which is here, and you put the dot there. The next thing you want to look at is that, is it less than or equal to or just less than? It's less than or equal to. So I said it. Now you look for where the thing is pointing to. It is pointing to this side, so therefore you also draw your line towards that side and write there x less than or equal to negative 5. This interpretation means that all the values here are less than or equal to 5. So it means 5 is part of the solution, but all the values here are also less than when you put it in the equation. Okay? And then you can always test that to see if that is true. We'll look at the third question. So the question 3, there's a lot of brackets inside there, and you have to expand the bracket before you can deal with the x, because the x are embedded in the bracket, and so you have to expand it before you can be able to simplify it. Now the 2 is multiplied by the whole bracket here, so you pick 2 times x, that gives you 2x, and 2 times negative 3 will give you negative 6. All right, which is greater than or equal to 3 times x will give me 3x, and 3 times 1, positive 1, will give me positive 3. Again, you group like terms. We have x to the right and then x2 on the left. So you bring all the variables to your left. So in this particular topic, right, the inequality, I like putting my variables to the left hand side so that I know if there are negatives and I'm dividing through by the negative, the sign will change. Okay, if I am picking this to the other side, then the sign will have to also change. So I like grouping my variables to the left hand side. So I have 2x, then this is positive 3x coming across here will become negative 3x, and the sign is still here. Then this is negative 6 coming across the equal sign, give me positive 6. And now I subtract 2 minus 3 will give me negative x, and this will give me 9, right? So I'm looking for x, not negative x, because the negative here. Remember, in math, once is 1, we don't write the 1 here. Okay, we just leave it as negative x. We divide by negative 1. That's equal to divide it by negative 1. And your x, once we are dividing by negative, you know that the sign is going to change to less than or equal to 9, negative 9, because of this negative, you have negative 9. And again, you can illustrate that on the number line. So you have 0, 1, 2, yeah, I have 2, let me use 2, 4. So here, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it means my 9 will be in between 8 and 10. So I can draw it there and write that the sign is pointing this way. So I also draw it. Now it is less than or equal to, so therefore I shade it, right? And then right there. So you just follow what the sign is. Drawing the number line is not difficult. So make sure the intervals are also equal when you are using the rule to do it. Now the last question, it has both brackets and then fractions. Please, you can pause the video and try to solve it. If you can do that, you comment in the section that I know that you can do it. Right? So let's do it together. The fourth one says that we will find 1/4 multiplied by 4x plus 8 minus 1. So the 1 is not part of the bracket. Less than x minus 1 all on 2. So here you will have to find the LCM. The LCM of 2 and 4, that is the denominators. So the LCM of 2 and 4, that is you have 2, 4, 6, 8. That's the multiples of 2. Then the multiples of 4, you have 4, 8, 12. Now look out for the least among these which are common, and then you use that. Multiply each term by this common multiple. So I multiply this by that. Each term, remember this is one term, so I multiply by 4, and the one here is also another term. This is equal to, is less than 4 times x minus 1 all on 2. It's another term. So I divide through 4 divided by 4 is 1. So it means I still have my days. Minus 4 times 1 is 4, which is less than 4 divided 2 is going to give me 2, and the 2 you are going to multiply by whatever is at the top. So it means 2 is multiplied by x minus 1. So if you make a mistake and you don't multiply by the 1 here, you are going to get it wrong. So we are saying that once you divide and get the answer, put it in the bracket like this before you come and expand it. So 4 divided 2 is 2. You multiply it by whatever is at the top. So now expand the brackets. But the coefficient here is 1, and 1 times any number is the same thing. Right? So I have 8 minus 4 less than 2 times x will give me 2x, and 2 times the negative 1 will give me minus 2. The group like terms, 4x, this is positive. Bringing it here will give me negative 2x. 8 minus 4 will give me 4, positive 4. And the positive 4 across the equal sign will give me negative 4. So there was 2 here already, and I have negative 4 also coming in. Now 4x minus 2 gives me 2x, which is less than minus 6. Because I'm looking for x, I divide 2 by 2. So my x is less than minus 3. Now note that here, although the answer is negative, but we are not dividing through by the negative. We say the sign changes when we are dividing by negative or we are multiplying by negative. So here we are only dividing by a positive number, therefore the sign still remains. Okay, and this is your answer, but we can also illustrate that on the number line. We have here 0, 1, 2, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. I have my value inside. So it's on negative 3. So I have it drawn. Now look, is it less than or equal to or just less than? And it's only less than. It means that I'm not going to shade it. Where is it pointing to? To the left. So I draw it towards that direction. Now write it. So it means that all the values below negative 3 are less than negative 3. 3 itself is not that. So that is what we were requiring you to get in the answers. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and then subscribe so that YouTube can promote my videos to a lot of audience. And again, the tools I'm using, the mic, tripod stand and other things, I'll put it in the description so you can go and get them for yourself. Thank you and have a nice time.